Sly. Welcome to Shot Ones. This is where we get to try different types of food, spicy, sour, outside the box, like, oh my God, what is that? All the way to, that's my favorite food. This is where I get an opportunity to talk to some of the industry's leading personalities. We're gonna be talking gins. Introduce yourself, tell us what you do.
Andrew Eis. I'm the Vice President of Brand Excellence and Marketing at Palm Bay, and I run our spirits portfolio. Well, I'm really excited to be here.
And on top of it, we have our spirit of choice where we get to drink it straight. We also have a cocktail. So I typically get a classic cocktail to kind of change it up a little bit. Today we have a gimlet, very basic. It's lime juice, simple syrup, and then of course gin. So how do you drink your gin?
You kind of read my mind with the cocktail that you guessed, kind of a fresh citrusy gimlet like you made here.
Crisp, clean, uplifting, very light profile. So we'll talk a little bit about botanicals. So
start off on the right foot because that is exceptional.
No heat, you get the botanicals. One flavor doesn't fight with the other.
Right.
I could just drink it straight.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful gin.
Absolutely agree. There are 12 botanicals from 9 countries, all in this one incredible gin. If there was one sort of flavor camp, it's probably citrus that probably comes out most. In the vapor part of basket, they have 3 citrus and 1 gunpowder tea in that basket, and that imparts an incredible amount of flavor. So of those 12, I think the 3 citrus play well together to create a really, really wonderful gin. The tea looks like little pellets. That's why it's called gunpowder. When it's in the vapor basket, it does an incredible job of pairing well with that citrus and really brings forward, I think, an elegant and, like you said, well-balanced gin experience.
Maybe I should choose. Let's go with this. You choose the color because color might dictate flavor. So, All right, let's see. Oh, not bad. Unless this sour is going to keep, not too bad. I think mine's watermelon.
I mean, mine's orange.
Is yours orange? So it's not too sour.
I was thinking the citrus might come out there.
So I think I'm going to try a little bit of Strakes. I think the citrus or this watermelon might actually complement just the botanicals of the gin here. Like perfect, because there's a little bit of sweetness in there too. But again, that actually pairs perfectly. Like a little bit of that sour with that, because that's a beautiful gin. Like love it.
Yeah, it does give an extra note or two that really does balance nicely.
Yeah.
So great first choice.
43%, so it has a little bit of extra heat, but you don't pick up on it at all. And just that little bit, we always say it gives a little bit of punch in cocktails too to really push it to the forefront, but it just doesn't drink at a little bit higher proof.
For that martini drinker, it definitely is an excellent choice because it really, doesn't need anything else if that's the way you consume. So I'm a big fan of the martini with gunpowder as well.
Yeah.
I think that PJ Rigney, who founded this gin, he is an alcohol beverage veteran, traveled the world, a true proven winner in the space, and he used to go to off the beaten path, whether it was China, India, and so many other places. When he decided he, as being Irish, wanted to create an Irish gin in Drumshanbo, he wanted to bring together all of what he had experienced and all of that food and beverage scene. The idea of 12 botanicals from 9 countries, it's the curious journey that he took, and it's why we call him the curious mind.
Yeah.
Because when he went to all those places, he wasn't thinking about, at one point in my career, I want to make a gin. He was just leaning into the culture and leaning into the moment. And I think there's something incredibly exciting and powerful about that type of authentic story. So it's got obviously the great taste profile, this incredible story of journey. And then you overlay it as, is it any good? Well, we think it's good. And I think, a Spirit Brand of the Year a few years ago and winning double gold at New York World Spirits competition in the last couple months kind of tells you the experts think so too. So
let's say you're a vodka drinker. This is still clean enough to capture that vodka drinker. But if you're a gin drinker and you hold true to a London style or that classic style, there's still enough juniper to capture that customer as well. So it's perfect because it's a gin that speaks to both sides and just making it just one family of us drinking and enjoying gin.
Perfectly said. I think you're the true storyteller here. I think you nailed it.
Give me my rocking chair and a fireplace.
But the gin does it all. I mean, I think you said it well. Being at a family-founded company, working with Pat and his team, his wife Denise, his daughter Roisin, they're in market, right? Like it's pretty cool to have the founder. If you have a great work with opportunity, he was in market as recently as Chicago and New York 2 months ago, and he couldn't stop raving about actually the RNDC teams he worked with. He said, man, like I can't tell you, they're so dialed in, they're so invested, they're asking the best questions. They really feel like they understand who I am and they wanted to know more about me and my story. Yeah. And I think that's a credit to the great story he has, but also, your teams and their interest in really learning what's special about the brand, and him and his truthful, authentic story is a critical part of what I think will make this an immensely successful partnership.
And then I got a next question, and we're going to get into, this is such such a beautiful bottle, but we'll get into that next. You choose. Remember, it's not what's on the outside just because it looks ugly. It's what's on the inside. It's
That's
the flavor.
true. Now,
okay,
are we
which
doing
one?
cocktail this time, or are we staying with true to the gin?
Let's do cocktail this time, and so you can score me on my cocktail abilities.
I mean, we clearly have something that's going to be a well-balanced citrus drink, and this is like a jerky, or what are we working with here? All right, it's a dangerous combo, but I like dangerous. I live dangerously here.
Let's do danger.
I live dangerously here.
Okay. This is the one time you're allowed to talk with your mouth full. Did you know that? So, Mom, if you're watching, one time you're allowed. You know, it's not bad.
A little bit of tiny bit of heat on the back end, but pretty even keeled. I've had some jerky where it really is, up front. It's not like that. It's a nice measured, but the heat sticks with you, and it stays in that back of the throat where you know that you've had something enjoyable, and it's going to stick with you and linger a bit.
Also, I think this is a habanero and some type. So
you are correct. That definitely is habanero on the back end.
But
that is so
there's
good.
Definitely some heat.
Are you kidding me? Sign me up.
Is that all right?
Sign me up.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really perfectly balanced. You get the gin notes coming through, but the gimlet is just
it's a classic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the full portfolio and what you guys offer from this gin?
Yeah. So Drumshambo is an Irish village in Leitrim County, and that's where the Shed Distillery is located. There's 3 products. Gunpowder is by far the priority based on volumetric opportunity and where we think a partnership with RNDC can best maximize our time and effort. But the second and third priorities are our Drumshambo pot still Irish whiskey. First whiskey in that region, Irish whiskey in over 100 years. So truly bringing a critical Irish whiskey to that region. And we have a Galanta single malt, and then we'll talk more about an LTO that's coming out in just about a month that I think is a great opportunity to do something limited time that leans into some really great finishes that Pat is known for. And then we have Sausage Tree Vodka, a really cool story. He was in Africa and saw a sausage tree with sausage fruit. Yes, a tree that literally looks like sausages are hanging from it. And he thought, hey, maybe that could turn itself into a beverage. And he distilled it with some Irish nettle and realized, holy cow, this is pure Irish vodka. This is tremendous flavor. And so got 3 in the range, but Gunpowder, we'll spend most of our time today talking about Gunpowder.
Interesting.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell about 2 sister products that both are also exciting parts of the portfolio.
And then with the Gunpowder, there's a pineapple, California citrus.
Yeah, and one more. So it's a range of 4. The original was first, then Sardinian citrus, California citrus. Yep. And then this year, launched last year Brazilian pineapple, but now we're officially national. All systems go on Brazilian pineapple. Every piece of feedback I've gotten on the Brazilian pineapple is just through the roof. I think it's such a relatable flavor, and the on-premise in particular, it's just such a great tool because it allows you to go into a flavor camp that you normally don't get to do in an easy manner, and it's going to be a home run. So Pat has said he thinks Brazilian pineapple is going to be, could rise up really fast. So we're ready.
Everyone loves pineapple.
Right?
It's a flavor that resonates year round. Tiki drinks, a tiki drink doesn't need to be rum. It could be using the Brazilian pineapple. Pineapple also goes well with fall flavor. So it's actually a flavor that speaks to year round. Gin actually speaks to a flavor year round, so being able to tie the different botanicals with it. So before we jump into my next question, which will be about the Jackalope, I'm more of a drumstick. I'm a drumstick gal.
Live dangerously.
Hey, it's lunchtime.
I too live dangerously.
Let's see. I feel something a brewing.
Oh yeah.
I feel something, the heat. Woo!
Instantly, it lets you know you are not messing around.
Okay, remember that band, the Flaming Lips? Mm-hmm. That's what's going on right now.
Oh yeah.
But the tongue is actually getting the brunt of it right now. Woo!
I've moved to mid to back tongue, and you know how it evolves, and mine is certainly making some moves here.
Woo-wee! I don't think I can talk right now. I think my tongue might be a little numb.
I can take on.
If you see some drool,
yeah.
I'm okay. Don't call 911. Oh, and there's a little tear. I should have worn waterproof mascara. I just touched my eyes.
That's the biggest no-no of them all.
I just did the biggest bartender no-no.
It's a full face. It's the heat just starts to emanate upwards, and then I get it in the brow. So that's where I get it. My brow starts to let me know. Tasting,
it just might turn
sure.
my gray hair dark again. That was one hot Oh, now my eye's feeling the heat, so y'all are right. So if I start twitching, so why don't you tell us a little bit more about the legend of the jackalope?
It's a mystical creature, a pairing that he perhaps invented between the jackrabbit and the American antelope. Two animals not normally thought of as one, with this really cool name. If you look on the bottle, it's sort of striking and intriguing. It represents the brand. You know, here you have somebody who created a distillery in Drumshanbo, Ireland, a small village, but who had traveled the world and seen, all these great places, and in particular the Oriental botanicals. Marrying those two things together was his way of saying two cultures coming together in an unexpected way, and it kind of brings a bit of that magic and intrigue to the brand. And so he wanted to have this sort of caricature on pack, big and bold, and we think it's a really fun representation. We're finding ways in this next year to bring it into different parts of the brand narrative. It's not the lead idea, but it's kind of that cool little thing when you find out about it. It is intriguing. It is fun to be able to tell people that story. And so we're going to find ways to see that into the brand story where relevant.
And again, that ties into what you had called out earlier, the curiosity, the curious mind. And this ties again into what you initially said at the start of our conversation, kind of ties into that full story.
Yes.
When people pick up a bottle of Gunpowder Irish Gin, what do you hope that they experience for the first time?
Well, I think the first thing that people, when they pick up the bottle, they talk about the blue bottle.
Yeah.
They don't know that it's actually inspired by an apothecary bottle, but it grabs them. You almost say that, and they're like, oh yeah, of course I know that gin. Then you want to talk about the taste. And for those who are kind of call them like gin rejectors, which I feel like I may have been sort of in that camp to some extent 5, 6, 7 years ago. And because of the things you said, it was juniper and it was GNT and that was it. And no one really talked about things otherwise. I think it's a bit of the education, the fresh botanicals, the Oriental botanicals, the gunpowder tea, those things matter. But I think more than anything else, it's just, talking about the quality of the ingredient, the process.
Yeah.
I know I came from many years of tequila. It had the same issue. People rejected it because of literally that drink that we all had, that I won't name, 20 years ago in college. And we all know what it is. And it was bad, and you had a hangover for 4 days or 4 years. And that was your college experience.
It's association.
And it's like, well, wait a second. Let's talk about a new way to do tequila. That's what Boom Tequila is, a new way to think about it.
Yep.
And I think this new sort of modern style is a new way to think about gin that opens up your aperture to a totally different way to drink, enjoy, cocktail, versatile. It's all these things that people don't really understand when they're sort of rooted in that old way of thinking. So I think a great bartender can do a much better job of just increasing that confidence and saying, give it a go. If you don't like it, no problem, but try it. And the number of times that people haven't liked something like this, who enjoy citrusy drinks, is, I'd say, close to zero.
I will say, with the heat of this, to speak to its validation of it being a fantastic gin, most people know, when you eat something really spicy, if you drink water, it just makes it worse.
Right.
They're like, oh, drink milk. That was so spicy, and y'all saw me drooling in eyes as I touched my eyes. I took a sip of the gin, and it didn't even add to the heat.
Right.
So when you think about drinking a spirit straight, you think about, oh, it's heat, because you do feel a warmth, and you think it would intensify. I took a sip and there was no heat. It didn't add to the heat, which
well balanced.
It's well balanced. It's flawless.
I agree. When I woke up today, I didn't think I'd be chatting with you, Sly, moderating and be breaking out in a sweat, but we're doing it and we're loving it. And
where you are is where you are, and there's worse jobs in the world. To know that you represent a brand that you actually believe in, that's the hardest to find. Tell me about your journey within the company, from day one. Has it just been so fulfilling to actually believe in a brand that you just embrace?
I mean, even before the brand, it was around, the leadership of the company. Palm Bay, owned by Mark and his son, Jake, meeting them, interviewing and having conversations with them, and realizing that they had an incredible story and were really invested in their people and development. And for me, that was critical. I mean, I'd look at people in the company who are 25 years. I was doing a work with the sales guy yesterday, and he was hitting his 25th year next year, and listing the guys and women who were there longer than him. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because Mark, and before that his father, they bring forward a culture and a spirit, a family, of relationship building, and of making this job fun every single day. Pat Rigney and what he's doing at the Shed Distillery is every much so. And so when those two decided 10 years ago to launch this in the US, it was two people, Mark Taub and PJ Pat Rigney, working together with similar values. That was the first thing. The second thing was, when I look at brands and I think hidden gems, right? when I think about brands and I look at the
Diamond
data,
in the rough.
that's where I get excited. You look at the data, this is the number 4 Ultra Gin, but I look at who are the brands that are ahead of them, and it's like, with good marketing and great execution from all of our sales and wholesale partners, why can't we be third or second or eventually the number 1 gin in the ultra space? We've got all the credentials.
Is it manifest? I do think that it's the most misunderstood category, and it can have history.
I was definitely more knowledgeable on some tequila stories in terms of process, but when I went to Ireland, I went to the distillery, and it was explained to me how the 12 botanicals come to life, and I was talking about 8 that are distilled and 4 in the vapor basket, and you see this medieval pot still, and that copper pot still is actually a little ring on top there to sort of connote that. You start to think about the touches that went into the bottle, the liquid, the packaging, and it's like, wow, this is an extremely thoughtfully and artfully crafted brand, and that's generally what's succeeded in the last 10 years. Those kind of brands are the ones that are, ripe for scale. Are
you ready for this? I don't know if it's going to be sugar. I don't know if it's going to be what it is. So we'll do, and I'm gonna do a heaping amount of this because like I said, it could be flavored sugar, which is good. And then I'll be bouncing off the walls. But okay, I'm all in. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Someone could kiss me right now, and I'd say Happy Valentine's Day. Because guess what flavor that is? Rose.
Rose.
So now I'm gonna do it straight. Oh my God, the light floral essence. That was a beautiful combination. You know what I could see with this is like a strawberry rose gimlet as well with this, but.
I mean, I assume when we're done here, that's exactly
that's what we're making.
Okay, just checking. I mean, we do have that bottle here, and then I think in the back we've got actually our 3 other varieties.
We've got the Brazilian pineapple, we've got the Sardinian, we've got it all back there. So
we wouldn't be doing justice if we didn't try all of them this conversation.
There's a new campaign on the horizon. Can you tell us a little bit about the campaign and what was the inspiration for it?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately PJ's story and the iconic blue bottle, what he's done with his curious journey, working with him, working with Mark, I wanted to figure out how do we bring this brand to a larger audience while still staying true to the values that have made it bold.
I'm going in again.
As
I'm going in again, guys. While you're talking, go ahead, because I'm gonna cry over your story. Go ahead.
It's got some tear-jerking elements to it. So I really wanted to lean into all of that, sort of made the brand what it's been today to get to that next stage of growth. He's the curious mind with the curious journey, and we aligned on a campaign that I'm calling, we love the curious adventure. And I think in the end, his journey, but more so the way he's seen the world, exciting stories that he has to tell, that's kind of the spirit of our consumer today. And whether you're 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, etc., like that mindset is true with people, I think, for the entirety of their lives. To me, the curious adventure is around, maybe it's trying a new gin, maybe it's trying a new cocktail, it could be trying a new account, or it could be just going to a new place and doing something bold, like where in the world have you never been, and just getting on that plane, taking a friend, and experience something new. So the curious adventures around recognizing that there's like that impetus in all of us and creating a movement of seeing the world. It's very much focusing on the blue bottle and the flavor ranges, but equally we want to make sure that we're doing justice to inspire consumers with all that it has to offer.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure my stomach is gonna thank me for this later.
Yeah.
Okay, it definitely doesn't pack a heat like on the onset like last time.
Solid hot wing though, that's pretty tasty. Not too hot, you're right.
Not too hot.
Not too hot.
You know what I would love to see? This gin in a martini across every menu with the onion.
Oh, bringing it back.
You never see a Gibson.
Yeah, the Gibson.
You never see a Gibson. How is the Shed Distillery making a positive impact on the world?
I mean, this is the first time really that I've worked in a company where we don't talk about, Wall Street, right? That's not the conversation we have. We talk about the consumer and how to make a positive impact on the world. That's what PJ, that's what he talks about. Even putting the distillery in Drumshanbo, Ireland, a small village, and really becoming like the key part of that ecosystem, that economy, was a critical step, and hiring, I think, 100 of the local folks into the distillery. But 15 of them were from Ukraine, and obviously, as we know, unfortunately, that is a war-torn place, and they are refugees from that. And he's brought them in an incredible opportunity to work on what an exciting sort of brand. And, he cares.
Yeah.
Certainly from a sustainability perspective, Origin Green and other sustainability, third-party certifications are a critical part of what he focuses on, knowing that, what he puts into the world, he wants to make sure it's a positive benefit. And then when I was there just a few months ago, he showed me the 80 acres of nature reserve that the Shed has purchased in order to make sure that we are putting more good out in the world and neutralizing any impact. Really doing right from the environment is critical. And honestly, there's probably 10 other things that he could talk about, but those are 3 that stood out for me as really, really impressive and just blow me away by his commitment every single day. And he's very involved with the Irish sort of tourism to make sure that everyone is thinking about country in a way that really is aligned to his values as an innovator and founder.
So with it being Irish, is there a play for St. Patrick's Day?
No, 100%. I'd say there's 3 things that are exciting about Q1 with respect to this portfolio and anchoring on St. Patrick's Day. For on-premise, it may be a little closer into the day. For off-premise, we may be able to start making some momentum a month or so out. I think the key things are certainly around Gunpowder and its ability as the #1 Irish gin, especially in a world where cocktails are becoming a play to have a voice. It's a great opportunity to reassert that as something that we want to participate in. High volume, kind of the fun accounts or more of the mixology accounts where a martini could play. And then there's whiskey bars. So, I mean, we can play in all 3 with Gunpowder range, with Sausage Tree, and some really great cocktails that can play in all of those environments. We talked about Drumshanbo whiskey. We've got a Tawny Port that's launching end of the month. And so now you're talking about an LTO that could be a really great way to win in whiskey accounts. We've got some fun stuff. We've got a little bit of merch. I think this is a fun one. We've got some merch, but I think this is a fun one. It's a Jackalope meets the Clover, bringing a little bit of fun here, hopefully, into the world.
Oh my God, I want that hat. I want to wear it to the gym.
I've been told by my wife that I never look good in hats, and this is the first time I look adequate. So I can imagine those of you who actually have a head for hats are gonna just crush it if you've got this thing rocking.
I think you look pretty dapper.
I'm planning on keeping it for the rest of the conversation.
We'll let everyone else decide.
I'm planning on keeping this.
Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, I wish we had a live voting.
I know.
Does Andrew look awful in this hat?
Up or down.
Like,
yes, he looks good in a hat or no. And then a separate one, you like the hat or no. But first would be, do you like them in a hat or no?
I don't think we'd have to ask if they like the gin, because that'd be 95% yes. But yeah, the hat is it's a risk I took today, and I'm hoping it pays off.
Oh my gosh, there are so many questions, and I'm going to keep going. But first, this, I see kind of chocolate. So let's see what this is. I smell chocolate, so of course I'm going to go for it.
It almost reminds me of
it's like
gummy
lemon.
candy, lemony gummy
it's lemon,
candy.
But it's like
this is a cocktail mix. What do we think?
It's a cocktail mix. Like, why not? Right? That was actually really good, but the dark filling is throwing me off with like the lemon, because you just think like
those 2 flavors don't normally go together. As we say, it's a bit of a jackalope.
There you go. Bum, bum.
I think we covered a lot today. I think some of the things that hopefully stood out: the award-winning gin, the incredible taste, the amazing bottle, #4 Ultra Gin, but growing and well outpacing the 3 larger in terms of growth. Look at us as something that's on the rise. We're #4. We're gonna get to 3. We're gonna get to 2. We're gonna really start to jump up that leader chart. So it's really around working together, utilizing the new campaign, utilizing this really fun sense of curious adventure. Ultimately, this is a gin that I think is set for the big stage. I thank everyone for watching this and being a part of an amazing journey on Gunpowder.
It's been awesome talking to you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Having the best time. One last cheers.
Yeah. Oh my God, that one wing was so spicy.
I took a small bite on purpose.